Family, what's up? What's up? Hold on, let me shut this door. Let me shut this door. I am officially in the city of the M Town. I'm in Memphis, y'all. As you can hear, Memphis destroys my voice every time I come to town. So every single time y'all have heard me, and what y'all don't realize, some of y'all who's just not following me, I'm from Memphis. So I lived in Memphis and lived in Virginia and lived in New York. And every time I come to Memphis, my voice does this. So I don't know if I've gotten used to the climate in New York and then here. So it's ridiculous. Sorry, y'all, drinking some water. So what's going on, family? How is we doing, family? I know I have been missing in action. I've been MIA. My apologies because I am visiting my mother. So y'all know what comes with that. You have to give them time. Why are you bringing them in here?
So you can watch them.
Okay, but shut the other door.
I
He can
should,
just...
yeah, I should.
Y'all, what's funny is me and my daughter, we had left to go get some food real quick, and I told my time is totally off, so I apologize that I'm so late. I apologize, y'all. I said I was gonna do better, but I totally lost track of time. My time zones are off right now. And I thought that it was like 8:45, and then I realized, I said, oh my goodness, it's 9:45. So y'all, I hopped in that little car of mine and we zoomed it on the way to the house. So my phone had died, and the charger, y'all know how them iPhone chargers have the crack in the side, and once it has that crack, it can't charge it no more. That's what happened to me. The charger was broke. So my phone had died. I couldn't reach anybody. I said, oh my gosh, I don't know Angie's number by heart. I don't know anybody's number. And I said, wait a minute, hold on. My daughter's actually subscribed to the channel. I said, oh, I can message people from her account. So that's when I messaged. I hate using her account, but that's neither here nor there. Um, um, because they know our government names. Let's just be honest. But so that was her. That was me in her account using her phone under her name. So that's why y'all saw her name pop up. So and that's why I was like, let me let everybody know that I have not forgotten. I'm on my way and I'm right around the block and I'm trying to get set up, and I already had my stuff set up, was in the car, headed here, walked in the house, grabbed her phone, and as I'm walking, and because I don't like doing, I was sending messages, and I said, let me let them know that I'm not totally MIA. I'm just trying to get home. Hold on, my laptop back to that. So y'all, have y'all been keeping up with the craziness? Hold on, let me charge my laptop. Hold on 1 second, family. Oh, Rio. They raw Rio. Rio, they didn't put you out. They didn't put Rio out, y'all. Rio is wreaking havoc. And when Rio wreaks havoc, they send him to me. So he's locked up in the recording room with me. Rio, don't show out. Let me put this light off real quick. Rio is locked up with me, y'all. Rio has gotten on everybody's nerves. Hold on, let me cut this other light on. Y'all bear with me. Like I said, I ran in here, so I ain't totally set up. So bear with me. There we go. Yeah, don't do that. Pull it down. I didn't have to stop. Jesus. Oh my gosh. Okay, y'all. Let's get started. Y'all, all I have to say is there is so much going on right now, y'all. I don't know where to begin. Free Rio. Everybody is Team Rio. Y'all see this? Free Rio. If y'all ever met Rio, y'all wouldn't be saying free Rio. That ninja needs to be locked up at all times. He is stiff neck. He real stiff neck, y'all. Pray for him. Pray for him. And I don't sell him. I ain't finna sell him. Come on, Reed. Come on, baby boy. He's spoiled, y'all. So when I tell y'all, there is so much going on right now. I don't know where to start. What's so hard is, y'all, as everything has been popping off, he is a real, y'all, when I tell you, this ninja is a real Hebrew dog. Yep, stiff neck. He's stiff neck as a mug. If you ever met my dog has his own mind. He gonna do whatever he want to do. He's 2 now. He's a 2-year-old chocolate. I'm gonna go into the subject after I explain this. He's a 2-year-old chocolate cocker spaniel. When I got him, if you look at my prior videos on my channel, my Sister E channel, I have a video of him. He was a little puppy. And I had him on my shoulder and I showed him to everybody. And I said, oh, he's so sweet. Shh. Baby, if I put him on a video, now he's subject to put his paw on the keyboard, kick the keyboard out. I've been and kicked everybody out. I've been told, no, he real has no chill. I'm tired of Pastor Kelly when he say this. Shame what you did to that dog. It's a shame how that dog treats me. Like, I'm at my mom's house, y'all, and I'm going to tell y'all a funny story, and then we're going to go straight into what's been going on. I'm at my mom's house, visiting her. I'm going to be here for a couple of weeks. My mom has 2 dogs. My mom has a small Shih Tzu and a miniature Yorkie. So they're both small dogs. Rio comes and wreaks havoc where they don't want to come out. They hide from him. They avoid him at any cost. They don't want to have nothing to do with that ninja. And he has no regard. Like, he has no chill. Like, he done bust out this room. Hold on. Wait. Oh, come on now. Hold on, y'all. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, Madison had to get Rio. Rio then bust out the room. Shut the door. Oh, gosh. You can get put up. You been ready to get put up. Here. Come on now. Y'all pray for me. Pray for me. Rio is in rare form today. Run, Rio. He ran. Bust out the room. He done gone in the room where my mom and her other dogs are because they hide from, but the other dogs don't like him. He done went in there and disrupted their quiet space. And my daughter had to pick him up and carry him out the room. This is my life right now. My days consist of stop, Rio, get down, Rio. Don't do that, Rio. Get down. Get down. Stop it. Like right now, I'm doing that. Anybody want a chocolate cocker spaniel? He's 2 years old. He's so adorable. I'm selling him for $2. Y'all can have him. I promise y'all can have him. And I said it, y'all, and he looked up at me like, wait a minute. Hold on. Stop. Okay, so let's get started. We ignore Rio for now. He stopped because I fussed up. Y'all, it is so much going on. Where can I start? The crazy thing is why the craziness and foolishness going on while it was going on. I'm on the road trying to get here. So y'all, my daughter took me on a trip for Mother's Day. For some of y'all who don't celebrate Mother's Day, that's on you. But my daughter decided to do something special for me, which I didn't know she was planning. So she decided that because I wanted to see Maine, I had never seen Maine before. She said, I'm going to take you to Maine, Mom. After we get in the car and she surprised me. What she does is she said, "I scheduled a trip for me and you." And no, no, oh Jesus, I'm gonna have to put him up. He has no chill, y'all. Hold on, I'm gonna finish this story, y'all. Give me a second. Rio just doing the most. Here. Y'all feel like Rio up. Give me a second. Here, man. All right. My mom has a house with 1,000 doors. So Rio is in rare form tonight. He's in rare form. Usually, y'all, I can get through a live and Rio is quiet. Rio is in rare form right now. He is running like a wild man. So, so back to the story. So we drive to Maine for Mother's Day. I mean, not Mother's Day, but to celebrate her gift that she gave me. So we go to Maine. While I'm in Maine, everything plus was popping off in the US. I see it. I got to get a live going. Keep in mind, we're in Maine. I'm going to say this. Maine has the worst cellular service I have ever seen in my life. And the hotel I was staying in, the Wi Fi was garbage. It kept kicking me off. So I said, I can't even do a live. I have a horrible cell phone signal. I'm in the middle of nowhere. It was beautiful. Maine will make you get connected with the land and let things like devices go. Because guess what happens? You don't have a signal. So we were close to Portland, Maine, and we were actually in Portland. And I just couldn't get a good cell phone signal. Keep in mind, I have Verizon as my service provider. Verizon is known for allowing you to have access. It's known for having good services, not this go round. So I can't talk about what's going on because I can't get on a live. I can't say anything because I can't get even a good service to use my phone. So we on the road. So y'all pray for me. That's another reason why my voice is gone. Because yesterday I was exhausted. We drove from Maine to Memphis in Saturday, Sunday, in 3 days. So you got to keep in mind, we went from Maine, Connecticut. I forgot what else. I think it's Connecticut, New Hampshire, Massachusetts. It may not be in the correct order, but y'all know what I'm talking about. New York. Then I went to New York, take care of a few more things before I got on the road, came to Memphis. Then went from New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, uh, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, Tennessee. So y'all, I was exhausted. So by the time I got to Memphis, I said, I gotta do a live, y'all. I gotta talk about this. Still getting here. Keep in mind, I'm moving out of my apartment, so y'all, I gotta find me an apartment when I go back to New York. Um, Moved out of my apartment in that same time frame. Drive all the way here. Get here, have my bags, literally bags. Dropped them off here and lay down and got some rest. In the process of getting rest, having to wake up every morning at 6 o'clock because I had to take care of some stuff at work because my job is Eastern and I'm Central here. So I'm having to wake up at 6, where 7 o'clock there, maybe 7. So my timing is off. I'm tired. So I said, I have to talk to the people about what's going on. I said, I'm going to schedule a live today. I had made the decision. Said, enough is enough. Y'all, when I tell you, have you ever had sleep to slap you in your face? Sleep slapped me in my face. I could not get it together. I kept saying, okay, I got to stay up for this live. I got to stay up for this live. My mama was looking at me and she said, are you all right? So I'm good. I'm good. I'm gonna go in here and do the live and I should be good. Baby, sleep said, no, you're not gonna do this live. What you're gonna do is go to sleep. And it hit me so hard that how sleep hits you so hard, you can't even think. It's like you can't pull out of even a complete thought. That's how tired I was. As you can see, my voice is gone. Waking up every morning to get some stuff taken care of for work. Y'all, I said, it's too much going on for me to be this tired. So today, I have some energy because when I sent the message, I got ready for bed and went to sleep yesterday. Did not waste any time. Went straight to sleep. When I went to sleep, I slept. Have you ever slept so hard that you close your eyes and you wake up, it's the next day? That's how hard I slept. I slept that hard. I simply closed my eyes for a second. Got in bed, closed my eyes. Crazy thing is, some folks had called me. Santonio had called me. A couple of people had called me. So I'd answer the phone. If y'all know anything about Santonio, y'all know Santonio Wiggins, Negro Judy. Y'all know who I'm talking about. He calls with 20 people on the phone call. Sister E, we got a question to ask you. And they full having a conversation. Y'all, I kid y'all not. I had put the phone next to me on the bed, put it on mute. Mike got an experience with that. He was on the phone with us one time. Put the phone on mute and laid down and said, I'm going to listen to the phone call. I'm not going to go to sleep that fast. When I woke up, it was nobody else on the line. That's how tired I was. That's how tired I was. Okay, y'all. Madison. Madison came in here talking, y'all. I'm sorry. So, y'all, it was a long one. That's all I got to say. So let's get started. Um, let's get started. So, y'all, with that being said, everything that you could think of was popping off. Everything you could think of was popping off this weekend. Russia warships. I should have wrote down everything that was going on, but I got a nice little list. You got Russia and the warships. Um, you got let me see. Have y'all heard that Biden is getting ready to pull out of the presidential race? Thanks, Angela, for bringing that to my attention. She brought that to my attention. I was like, what? You got so much going on right now, y'all. I should have wrote it down because it was everything that you could think of was about to pop off. So let's start with this. Oh, before I get started, y'all know what I got to do. Take business. Before I do it, I've learned my lesson. They ain't finna hit me no more. Let's get it. Let's get it cracking. So, copyright disclaimer under Section 107. of the Copyright Act of 1976. 707. Remember that, y'all. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Oh, hold on. My phone is doing something. Allowance is made for fair use of purposes such as criticism, comment, new research, and new reporting. Let me redo it just in case. Start it all over again. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, new reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Fair use. Now, let me do this. They ain't getting me no more. Bam. My fair use emblem here. Now, let's proceed with this. Now we can start playing videos. So we're going to start talking about Biden possibly dropping out of the presidential race. Y'all got to realize how devastating that would be to the Democratic or the Democratic Party. That's devastating because the elections is what, in November? So let's say that he drops out today. They got to find a candidate decent enough to represent the Democratic Party. They probably going to take them a month. So they probably ain't going to catch up until August to say, we got somebody. This person has the campaign. This person has the campaign. Between August, September, October, no, they got 3 months. 3 months to campaign. Then on to the races in November. Y'all realize how impactful that is. So let's get started. Yep, Hunter Biden going to jail. That destroyed him as well. Yes, this is scary. It's scary. Right here. Definitely she going to the party. Definitely going into war. Fair use. Say it again. Fair use. Now I'm going to play.
Just how will Joe Biden pull out of the presidential race? Hello, I'm Steve Forbes, and this is What's Ahead, where you get the insights you need to navigate these turbulent times. President Biden's supercharged State of the Union address a few months ago quieted talk among Democrats about forcing him to drop his bid for a second term. But the quieting was only temporary. The continued, painfully obvious mental decline of our commander in chief has revived widespread public speculation of his withdrawing. A few observers think that this might be the political equivalent of a head fake, lowering expectations for his upcoming debate performance against Donald Trump. That highly anticipated verbal slugfest is barely 3 weeks away. After all, there are rumblings of pushing Biden out before his Buffalo State of the Union triumph. But the volume this time is more extensive and the tone more anxious. The fact that several Democrats, almost always off the record, are whispering concerns to the media reveals growing worries about this president's fitness to stay the course for this campaign. Hardly anyone believes he can navigate the rigors of a second term. This, of course, leads to basic questions. Will Biden bow out before the June 27 debate with Trump? Unlike his appearances these days, the president won't be aided by teleprompters. His unscripted remarks are routinely and embarrassingly confused and garbled. Would a combination of anger, which might fuel a temporary clarity of mind, extensive rehearsals, and some exotic elixirs enable Biden to complete a 90-minute debate, especially since the likely moderators would be on his side and former President Trump might overplay his hand? Perhaps this is what certain White House aides and the powerful, highly influential First Lady are counting on.
Now, keep in mind, their biggest concern is Joe able to keep going. Now, if anybody has seen the video from the Juneteenth event, hit 1 if you've seen it. Hit 1 if you've seen it, 2 if you've not seen it. So you will see that there are some issues, and it was so obvious. The interesting thing is, when Angie told me this, this came out after the Juneteenth event. When I play this Juneteenth event, y'all gonna see exactly what I'm talking about. This man is not there anymore. This man shows signs that there's something really going on. When I play it, y'all gonna see, and y'all gonna be shocked at what you see. But I'm gonna finish this video.
It's a high risk, however. A fumbling performance would make a subsequent pullout particularly humiliating. Even if Biden makes it through the June 27 challenge, his continuing decline in public and private meetings will fire up ever deepening misgivings among voters, knowing a ballot cast for Biden would be a ballot cast for Kamala Harris, sooner rather than later for her to sit in the Oval Office. When Biden steps down, who would replace him and how? He would likely quit the campaign, but not the presidency. Harris would remain vice president. Fevered meetings would follow among Democrats as party leaders would try to orchestrate the anointment of a candidate the way they did in 2020 with Joe Biden to block frontrunner Bernie Sanders. The frontrunner here would be California Governor Gavin Newsom, who's never made secret his lust for the nation's top job. But Democrats may conclude his record makes him too vulnerable and instead would go for an unknown candidate with a cleaner slate, particularly one of their governors, like Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania, Wesley Moore of Maryland, or Jared Polis of Colorado. A big international financial or military crisis may force Biden out, as he does not have the mental agility to handle such a situation the way John Kennedy did during the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Now, there's a lot of factors here. He said the mental capacity to handle the incident with the Cuban Russian Missile Crisis. We're in the middle of a situation where Russia is now. They could be able to handle it. I think it was Kennedy, and I thought it was great, but Kennedy and them were able to handle it. They said Biden don't have the mental capacity to handle it. And right now, Russia's sitting right up the block and ain't playing no games.
Kamala Harris may yet get to sit in the big chair. Either way, Joe Biden will not be the head of the Democratic ticket this November. I'm Steve Forbes. Thanks for listening. Do send in your comments and suggestions, and I look forward to being with you soon again.
Now, when I play this video, y'all gonna see why I think him not running really became mainstream after this. When I show y'all this, for those who haven't seen it, y'all gonna see what I'm talking about. Fair use. Let me say this again To the people in the back room, fair use. Saints ignore the reporter. That's all I gotta say. Leave that where it is. But this is during the Juneteenth event they had at the White House just here recently. Let me give you a backstory. I think this happened over the weekend or I think Monday, but they had this big Juneteenth festival recently, like this week. I think it happened. I can't remember when it happened, but this is like recent. Pay attention. Don't pay attention to Billy Porter. Ignore him, Saints. Pay attention to Joe Biden. Just pay attention to him. Ignore Billy Porter. Because I know Saints too busy looking at the distract. Ignore him. Just pay attention to Joe Biden. I'm going to start it over. I need y'all to see this.
Why I awarded the Medal of Freedom to Miss Oprah Lee as well, the grandmother of Juneteenth. She knows so long as she was denied, our freedom can never be secured. Her decades-long march brought her here to the White House when she stood by my side as I signed the Juneteenth federal holiday.
Y'all, y'all, he was not there. If you notice with his speech, he was slurring his words. I sat there and I said, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm sitting there like, oh my word. This man can't even get his words out. He was stuck at a pause. And the crazy thing is, they've been making jokes on TikTok about him. Like they got one, like, dial up in the little circle. They do that in front of him. And I said, this right here, this man looks like I'm just going to say, he looks like he has dementia. He looked like he's going through the early stages of dementia, the mid stages of dementia. And they're having to, because the thing is, if you notice, he was stuck at a pause. And they literally had to the guy had to put his arm around him and kind of shake him to get him back to reality. Man. So you see why this man is saying, I can't go back. I can't run for office. I can't run for office. Now, wow, we're sitting here and we're watching this. Understand that the world sees it. The world sees it. Not just us, but the world. We're in a situation right now, y'all. We are in the midst of a war. We got a couple of things going on, but we're in the midst of about to go to war. We got a situation where Russia is sitting right at the back door. Russia's right now sitting with warships over in Cuba. Cuba is across the street from Florida. That's how close they are. And they're saying that these are, I guess, war exercises, or but he's sitting with a couple of warships and a submarine with a nuclear missile in it. So if they decide, not to mention, they said it's been popping off over there where they actually doing some stuff that's scaring and freaking everybody out. So, so let's see. Now keep in mind, Russia told the U.S. if you come over here with this foolishness, Ukraine, with U.S. bombs, I'm gonna deal with you. And literally, that's what Putin said. And guess what? They're at the back door. Now the U.S. is gonna try to say, "Oh, this was just exercises. There were no missiles on the boat. There were no missiles in the submarine." I said, "Now, come on. Who you think stupid? Who do you think is stupid? Not I," said the cat. Not stupid. We know that right now it's about to go down. So, let me play this video. Fair use. Let me share this. Fair use, fair use.
It's not the first time Russia's Navy has sailed to Havana. At this tense moment between Moscow and the West, Russian warships and a nuclear submarine on America's doorstep send an unmistakable message.
The visiting Russian warships to Cuba are Vladimir Putin's way of reminding President Biden that Moscow can challenge Washington in its own sphere of influence, too.
The ships arrived after days of high-precision missile training in the Atlantic. Russia's defense ministry says the vessels are not carrying nuclear weapons, but are loaded with hypersonic missiles. All of it coincides with a visit by Cuba's foreign minister to Moscow.
We will see how this unfolds in the coming days, but we have seen this kind of thing before, and we expect to see this kind of thing again.
The U.S. insists the Russian visit to Cuba is routine and does not represent an escalation.
It's an explicit threat to the peace and security of all the Americas.
A far cry from the 1962 Cuban Missile Crisis, which entrenched fears of a Soviet attack launched from the island. These days, Cuba is more interested in an economic lifeline and is even trying to woo Russian tourists.
Russia is the only country that has been willing to provide significant help, just as it did during the Soviet era.
Russia isn't the only country looking to win hearts in Havana. The Royal Canadian Navy announced one of its newest patrol vessels, HMCS Margaret Brooke, will visit this weekend in recognition of the long-standing bilateral relationship between Canada and Cuba. A sign this tiny nation still plays a major role at a time of global instability. Jackson Prosco, Global News, Washington.
Fair use. I'm going to say it again. Y'all, I'm going to tell y'all something. If ain't something brewing right now, it's something brewing. Now, not to mention, we're going to go back to the Russia thing. Y'all, I'm going to tell y'all, it's so much stuff that I just got to go through the list of things that's going on. Another thing is happening. Have y'all heard about Saudi Arabia? What they recently did? It's this much stuff going on right now. It's popping off. Saudi Arabia right now. Have y'all heard about what's going on with Saudi Arabia and U.S. relationship? Relationship. Oh, wow. Jay Hostile, have you heard? Don't nobody say nothing. Everybody keep quiet. Don't tell Jay what's going on. Oh, everybody be quiet. Don't tell nobody. Let me play it real quick for you, Jay. So you can see what I'm talking about. Where's my video at? I need to go to history. Okay. Oh, don't nobody say nothing. Because I want to surprise the people that don't know what's going on. Yep. Everybody be quiet. Everybody be quiet. Don't nobody say nothing. Let me play it. Everybody be quiet. Fair use. I'm going to say it from the top of the fair use. So I don't get hit. Y'all, it's about to go down. That's all I got to say.
Well, everything is changing quickly for the US dollar. And this past week, we've seen two major events that are going to completely change the future of our world. The first event was the announcement of a new BRICS payment system that will in fact challenge the status of the US dollar in international transactions. But what's even bigger is the shocking announcement that after a 50-year run, the agreement between the United States and Saudi Arabia to export oil exclusively in US dollars has officially ended on June 9th, 2024. And guess what? The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia has decided to not renew its partnership with the US and instead will open up the Saudis' lucrative oil trade to other countries and currencies. Trust me, this is a massive blow to the status of the US dollar as the world's reserve currency. For the past 50 years, the US government has mandated that oil must be sold exclusively in US dollars, elevating the dollar status as the world's reserve currency. It was honestly one of the most lucrative decisions the US government has ever made. But a world in where America is the sole superpower is officially over. Earlier this week, Reuters reported that Saudi Arabia has now joined a China-led central bank digital currency project in what could be another step towards less of the world's oil trade being done in US dollars.
The petrodollar. The petrodollar. Saints, when I saw that, I said, oh, let me say what I got to say. One cuss word per live. Oh, hell finna break loose now. We definitely finna go to war. Do y'all realize U.S. is now like, hell no, there's two cuss words. I'm done now. Okay, Brie Queen, I'm done. Hell is in the Bible, but I'm not going to cuss no more. No. I sat there and I said, oh my goodness. That's the end. That's going to tank the U.S. dollar. It's lost its value because I think they dropped gold and took oil to back the dollar. There's high circulation of the U.S. dollar, meaning I can't do anything with oil in Saudi Arabia between us unless we utilize the U.S. dollar. Y'all, that's a game changer. Y'all, it's about to go down. And they're doing what? They decided to join China's central bank. So you got two central banks fighting against each other. And that's what I see. You got the central bank we know, and you got China's central bank. I don't think China's affiliated with the central bank here. You're finna have two banks fighting against each other. This smells, screams, it says war. I said, and I said, Lord, they finna fight in the floor. Because now it's about money. They need Biden to step down. Somebody probably went to Biden and said, you need to not run. We need somebody else in this role. This was an executive decision. They probably put him up there like that at the Juneteenth event for people to see that he ain't in his right mind, so that when they tell him to step down, people will be like, oh, okay, yeah, he needs to step down. I think they did that on purpose because they didn't give him his medicine. They didn't give him his medicine, and they said, let's put him in front of the people so the world can see that something ain't right. While they're doing that, all hell is breaking loose in the background. That's the third cuss word. And they're saying, okay, so we're going to say, let the world see that he's not in his right mind, and then we'll make that an excuse that he's not going to run for presidency. And now all of a sudden you're hearing that he's not running for presidency after the Juneteenth event. I said, this game, they playing games. They did that on purpose. They did that on purpose, and they didn't stop the world from saying that he wasn't in his right mind. So they're going to put someone else in place because war is coming. What? When I saw that, I said, oh, they finna fight. They finna fight. Oh, it's about to go down. So let me finish playing this video. Fair use. Fair use.
Last week, U.S. Congressman Thomas Macy made an appearance on Tucker Carlson's podcast and gave one of the most authentic breakdowns of what's happening with the U.S. dollar. Trust me, there are very few politicians in Washington who are actually worth listening to, but Congressman Macy doesn't sugarcoat what is really happening.
And we can do that as long as they use our currency, but I think it's going to end at some point. They're going to quit using our dollars as reserve currency. I mean, I watched your interview with Putin. One of the things he said that is true is when we sanctioned him, before we sanctioned Russia, 70% of their transactions were in US dollars. And after the sanctions, it's less than 20% of their transactions are in US dollars.
Sending gift cards in bulk can be a nightmare. But what if it could be tremendous?
Ironically, every time the US government introduces a new economic sanction, it moves the world one step closer to de-dollarization. To be honest, the exact same thing is happening with the US government's microchip battle against China. The US doesn't want China to have access to America's best microchips, so in turn, they sanction China. But what does China do as a result? They invest in their domestic microchip industry, and within a few years are quickly closing the innovation gap. The best thing to ever happen to the Chinese semiconductor industry was getting sanctioned by the US government. This forced China to change and get stronger. If the US government continues to weaponize the US dollar and enforce sanctions, it opens the door for much larger problems.
And we're also sending a really clear signal, which is the dollar's not safe for you.
Right.
It's the reserve currency because it's a safe haven, because it's a stable country. It's the most stable country in the world, and we're not going to weaponize the dollar because that would be shooting ourselves. But suddenly we are.
Of course, we can see this unfolding in real time as well. Earlier this week, Joe Biden and French President Macron reached an agreement to use the profits of frozen Russian assets to send additional funding to Ukraine. This is a dangerous move from the US and French governments because it not only violates international law, but it exposes how much at odds Western leaders are with their populations on Ukraine. Last week, the Institute of Global Affairs published this groundbreaking study, which reveals 94% of Americans and 88% of Western Europeans believe that NATO member countries should push for a negotiated settlement for the war in Ukraine. Literally 9 out of 10 citizens in both Western Europe and the US want this war in Ukraine to end, but our democratically elected officials, who are supposed to represent the people they serve, have other plans. Once again, this strategy will be a disaster for Western governments.
So, when I tell you they have weaponized a currency to say, I'm not going to trade with you, China, if you don't do what I tell you to do. That makes you wonder why China is fighting now to get Taiwan back. Why they're fighting. Because now it's like, I need these resources. These were our resources originally. Give it back to us. We're not playing games no more. You sanction us, we're taking our stuff back. So you got China right now, good, to pretty much telling Taiwan, come on back home. Quit playing with me. They literally saying that. Saints, I'm sitting here watching this like, I don't know where to start. I don't know how to explain this to my folks. But it's so much going on right now to the point that we're literally fighting with ourselves. Well, not we, them. The U.S. is literally fighting with themselves. They create a sanction with China. China said, you know what? We don't need you. We're going to figure out how to do this ourselves. And did it. They're not playing games no more. So they weaponized the dollar, and now they're dealing with the repercussions of weaponizing their dollar. So fair use.
Over the long term.
But one of the things we recently did in Congress, we passed something called the Repo Act, where we said we're just going to seize all of Russia's sovereign assets in the United States. Well, it turns out a lot of that is treasury debt that they've agreed to buy so that they can hold dollars. When people see that we've seized their money that they gave us in exchange for these treasury notes, then other countries won't want to buy our debt.
As I mentioned before, the US government has weaponized the dollar to the point where other countries are watching and are concerned about the long-term effects of holding too much dollars. One of those countries is, of course, China, who was once the largest holder of US Treasury bonds. At its peak, China held over $1 trillion worth of Treasury bonds. But after the US launched a trade war against China, China has shifted their strategy. They no longer want to hold excessive amounts of US Treasury debt and are now offloading these debts in exchange for gold. China is not stupid, and it knows it could be a future victim of US sanctions itself.
You know, we probably wouldn't seize Great Britain's assets, but I could see us seizing China's assets.
Why would, I mean, that seems like theft. Just like take a country's assets. I mean, that belongs to the people of the country, right? It's not just Putin.
It is theft. Like, it's immoral, but even if you're okay with the amorality or immorality of it, it's short-sighted because eventually it'll catch up with us.
Are you having trouble trying to keep up with your professor? You've got to try Otter.
You can see this interview with Congressman Macy exposes a lot of truth, and it's why the other leading headline that BRICS is launching its own payment system was also significant this week. Here's a clip of Vladimir Putin speaking at the 2024 St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, which was held in Russia just last week. Pay attention to these words as he reveals the future of global trade.
По 23 год доля рубля в расчетах за российский экспорт выросла почти в 3 раза, до 39%. В 3 раза. Вместе с зарубежными партнерами будем наращивать применение национальных валют во внешнеторговых расчетах, повышать безопасность и эффективность таких операций. В том числе по линии БРИКС прорабатывается формирование независимой платежной системы, не подверженной политическому давлению, злоупотреблениями и внешнему санкционному вмешательству.
Now, if you listen exclusively to Western media, you probably will believe that Russia has been cut off from the outside world and that their economy is finished. But over 17,000 participants from over 130 countries attended this economic forum in Russia as Putin laid out the future of the BRICS plan for global trade. Remarkably, just a few days after this economic summit, Russia held another meeting, which brought together the foreign ministers of each BRICS nation to outline the future goals of the organization. In total, there were 54 points addressed during this meeting, and I've read the entire report, so you don't have to. Here are the top 3 most important takeaways. Number 1, a new financial system. The BRICS organization wants to reform the entire global financial system to enhance the voice of developing nations and improve their access to international financial institutions. Under the current US dollar system, every country is under the mercy of the US government, and this remains the biggest motivation for BRICS. Create an independent payment system that uses local currencies in trade and one that is free from US sanctions and outside political pressure. Number 2, Israel-Palestine. I want you to look at this map, which shows the countries who recognize Palestinian statehood. Around 88% of the world's population lives inside these green countries, and this map is almost identical to the countries who also support de-dollarization and the rise of BRICS. The war in Gaza has become the latest political issue separating BRICS and the United States. The US will of course always support Israel, and quite frankly has proved useless in ending the war in Gaza. But the BRICS alliance will fight back and pursue a path of statehood for Palestine, something that once again 88% of the world's population wants to see. And number 3, the end of US sanctions. Now, the BRICS foreign ministers didn't specifically name the United States, but this point leaves no doubt as to who they were referring to. The ministers expressed concern about the use of unilateral coercive measures, which are incompatible with the principles of the Charter of the UN and produce negative effects on economic growth, trade, energy, health, and food security, notably in the developing world. What I want everyone to realize is that once you remove yourself from the Western media bubble and start to observe global trends, you'll notice the majority of the world are united in what they want. They want economic freedom, and this is why a shift away from the US dollar has begun. They want equal treatment, and this is why 88% of the world once again supports Palestinian statehood. Finally,
So I gotta jump in here real quick. The single demise of the petrodollar is bigger than what the U.S. can handle right now. Not only have they done this, Russia is very patient. They're not fighting. They're letting the reputation of the U.S. go downhill from there. So that whenever they do whatever they do, the U.S. is already in trouble. This Palestinian genocide, or what's going on over in Palestine right now, is really, 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 really giving the U.S. a bad name. U.S. is getting so much bad press right now because guess what? They're funding this war, and it's not looking good. So where at one time the U.S. could have cried wolf and said, wait a minute, Russia's doing X, Y, and Z. And Russia's doing this, and Russia's doing that. Russia just patiently waited in the cut. Patient. People don't realize, I think Putin is very patient. He waiting in the cut, and he watching. I'm gonna be honest. TikTok might have been a way for mainstream, for the U.S., for the world to actually see what's going on. It's strategic. This game is not checkers, it's chess. The introduction of TikTok was the demise of the media that we know now, that gives us what they want us to hear. Because what happened is mainstream media don't control the narrative. Do not control the narrative. They at one time did, but they don't, because people have access to information, and TikTok has been hitting them left and right. Content creators been hitting them. And when they realized that TikTok had been hitting them, they decided, oh, we got to get TikTok now. By that time, content creators within TikTok had gotten so out there that they couldn't control it. They can actually do what they want to do. They can shut it down right now if they want to, but the word on the street is out now. Word on the street is out now. So there's no way around it. There's no way to control the conversation or the narrative. So it's not just the demise of the dollar. It's the reputation of the U.S. with the demise of the dollar. Because BRICS couldn't move with the reputation that the U.S. has done this. You know, they always paint a beautiful picture of the U.S. They couldn't do that. But now that you have the incident with Palestine, you got all these things that are popping up within the U.S. that now Putin's saying, now I can move. Let's go for it. And he's moving so fast and aggressive to the point they can't get controls. I'm telling you, y'all, the U.S. 50 years ago, Russia wouldn't have been sitting in the back. Even though they were sitting in the back, they did a quick little thing and then said, let me move on, because these folks buck wild. U.S. didn't play games back then. I say about 70 years ago. How old am I? During the times of my grandfather. They really weren't playing games. This right here now, Putin said, yeah, I can do what I want to do. I'm going to sit at your back door and I'm going to intimidate you. And I'm going to talk cash money, and I can't say the word. And y'all not going to do nothing about it. I said, baby, if this ain't a combination of multiple events snowballing to one major event, not to mention U.S. citizens are burned out. They don't have the support. The U.S. don't have the support that they used to have with U.S. citizens. U.S. citizens are broke, unemployed, tired, frustrated, and sickened by the things that they're seeing right now. So the system itself is fighting not only with external issues, but they got internal factors they got to take into play. People are not amped to say, if we go to war, we can go to war. We're enlisted. No, people are not sheep anymore. They're not just being led to the slaughter. They're not that gullible anymore. This generation has access to Rio. This generation has access to information and ask questions that they're not willing to answer. And if you know anything about a Gen Z, because I got a Gen Z in my house, they don't take I don't know well. They want to know what is really going on. They're not taking I don't know. Millennials as well, and Gen X, and some baby boomers, but mostly Gen Z. Gen Z don't take no fun answer. They finna ask questions. Well, why should we go to war? Well, why are you doing this? Well, why are we doing this? That doesn't make sense. Explain that. If you ain't never raised a Gen Z before, I got one, and I raised it and raised her. And they ask questions, and they not disrespectful. They know how to ask a question and not be disrespectful. But they gonna ask her. My daughter ain't finna. When I'm talking to her when she was younger, we would have to have a real conversation. Like, let me explain something to you. That's the type of conversations you got to have with a Gen Z at the age of 9. Anybody in the house got a Gen Z in their house? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They ask questions. They're going to ask questions on top of questions and on top of questions on top of questions till you get to the point where you just like, don't ask me another question again. This is what I said and leave it alone. They don't take the word of, I ain't got to tell you nothing. Do what I say, do because I said it. They're going to be like, okay. I'm confused though. What's the end result of this? Family. So with them asking questions and everything going awry, y'all, my popcorn is sitting back and I'm watching. You got Russia at the back door. You got Saudi Arabia backing out of using the petrodollar anymore, and they're partnering with China. You got Iran and Lebanon and all the Middle Eastern countries fighting against Israel. Ukraine is losing the war, truth be told. Ukraine is having a hard time. Even Israel having a hard time. These folks, Hezbollah have figured out how to trick the system and get past the Iron Dome houseway. Not to mention, we're going to talk about Israel. His whole cabinet is just stepping down, resigning left and right. And what's crazy is on TikTok, there's a big campaign. A lot of it is the Black community. They're saying, look, Putin, I ain't got nothing to do with what the U.S. is doing right now. I know you at our back door, but we ain't in it. I sit there and I said, uh-oh. It's about to go down, Saints. It's about to go down. I would drop his video in here. I'm not going to play all of it because I don't feel like the smoke coming from YouTube. So I'm going to drop this video. Y'all watch it at your leisure. Did y'all enjoy this? I enjoyed this as well. It's a lot going on, y'all, and I got a feeling I'm going to be doing, like I said, I hate that I haven't been consistently online, because I was traveling, but it's going to get to the point where I'm going to have to do lives. I'm going to have to, because it's getting crazier and crazier and crazier and crazier and crazier. And that's all you're doing. You're sitting there, you're watching it, and you're just like, Ooh, what's next? I wake up every morning like, okay, we still here. That's a shame that I wake up every morning like, okay, we made it. Because Russia is right at the back door. And they keep messing with them. So, y'all, I am going to do more. I'm going to do something else this weekend. Right now, as you can hear, my voice is not 100%. So, and I'm starting to get tired. And like, our wonderful sister, Sheila loves to say, pay attention to your body. And my body's like, all right, that's enough. I'm glad you did your live. Now let's go ahead and end it so you can go to bed. And that's where I'm right now, y'all. Keep us in your prayers. I have enjoyed this. I'm going to have to do something soon because some just, not to mention, y'all, Aiden has some issues with migrants about to pop off in different cities. We'll talk about that later. But y'all, I'm getting ready to go to bed. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Thank you so much. I'll feel better once I close my eyes and go to sleep. What time is it? It's 11 o'clock, so hopefully I'll be in the bed by 11:45. It takes me probably about 30 minutes to get ready for bed. But I hope y'all enjoyed it. I have. I've thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. It's about to go down, Saints. Just brace yourself. Just brace yourself for what you're about to see. I will see y'all later on this weekend because something's going to happen. That's all I got to say. It's about to go down. It's about to go down. Hands down. So, all right, family. It's 11 for me, Central, but I feel like it's 12 o'clock. So, family, stay prayed up. Stay before the Most High. He has to do this. And just be in his good graces while he's doing what he's doing. All right, family. Much love. I've enjoyed the conversation and good night.